In a quiet little town surrounded by mountains and rivers lived a woman named Padma. She was known in her neighborhood as kind-hearted, hardworking, and full of love. From the outside, people thought her life was perfect. She had a husband, 2 children, and a small but warm home. But deep inside, Padma often felt empty and restless. She woke up every morning before sunrise, cooked for her family, cleaned the house, looked after her children, and sometimes even helped her neighbors. By the end of the day, she was exhausted. Yet, when she lay down at night, one thought always haunted her. Why am I not happy, even after doing everything right? Her days were filled with duties, but her heart longed for something more: peace, joy, and meaning. One afternoon, while walking through the town market, Padma noticed an old woman sitting quietly under a tree. Her clothes were plain, her hair was silver, and her face carried wrinkles of wisdom. But what struck Padma most was her calm and glowing smile. Curious, Padma sat beside her and asked, "Mother, how is it that you look so peaceful and happy, even though you seem to have nothing?" The old woman looked at her kindly and said, "My child, happiness is not something the world gives you. It is something you create within yourself. The secret of a happy life is not in how much you do, but in how much love and meaning you bring into what you do." Padma frowned slightly. "But I do everything for my family. I sacrifice my own needs for them. Shouldn't that make me happy?" The old woman smiled again and replied, "Sacrifice without self-love becomes a burden. True happiness comes when you balance love for others with love for yourself. Do your duties with joy, not pressure. Find time to nurture your own soul. That is the secret of a happy life." That night, Padma thought deeply about those words. For the first time, she realized she had been living for everyone else, but forgetting herself. She was giving love, yet none of it was directed inward. The next morning, she decided to make small but meaningful changes. She woke up a little earlier than usual, poured herself a cup of tea, and sat by the window to watch the sunrise. The soft colors of the morning sky filled her heart with peace. At night, she read a few pages of her favorite book instead of going to bed with worries. In the evenings, she took slow walks by herself, breathing in the fresh air, listening to the birds, and feeling her soul come alive again. Padma also stopped comparing her life with others. She began counting her blessings, her children's laughter, her husband's support, the roof over her head, and the simple joys around her. Most importantly, she chose to approach her duties with gratitude instead of complaint. Weeks passed, and something magical began to happen. Padma felt lighter, calmer, and more energetic. Her smile was no longer forced. It became genuine and warm. Her children noticed it first. They loved being around their mother's joyful presence, and their home began to feel brighter. Her husband, too, admired her new glow and often said she looked more beautiful than ever before. Even her neighbors noticed the change. They saw the same Padma who worked hard, but now with a peacefulness that inspired others. She finally understood. Happiness is not about having a perfect life. It is about having a peaceful mind, a grateful heart, and a soul that feels alive. Years later, when people in town asked her how she managed to stay so positive, Padma would smile and say, "The secret of a happy life is not money, not status, not even a perfect family. The secret is this: love yourself while loving others, live with gratitude instead of complaints, do small things with great joy, and never forget to feed your own soul." And with that wisdom, Padma lived not only a long life, but one that was deeply happy and meaningful. Vocabulary list. Restless, unable to relax or stay still. Example, he felt restless waiting for the exam results. Haunt, to trouble the mind with repeated thoughts. Example, the memory of his mistake continued to haunt him. Wrinkles, small lines on the skin, often from age. Example, her gentle wrinkles showed years of kindness and wisdom. Glowing, shining softly with light or happiness. Example, she entered the room with a glowing smile. Sacrifice, giving up something valuable for the sake of others. Example, his sacrifice for his family's future was never forgotten. Burden, a heavy responsibility or duty that feels difficult to carry. Example, the financial burden weighed heavily on his shoulders. Nurture, to care for and encourage growth or well-being. Example, teachers nurture young minds to reach their potential. Want more stories like this? Click the video on your screen for more inspiring stories. Share what you learned in the comments.